Hello, how you doing? Today, but I'm going to connect the sound so you guys hear me better. Give me a second. Not just enough. My apologies for the movement. Today, I wanted to do the free service in a different way. Please, guys, let me know if the sound was adapted correctly. And I want to do codes for you guys. I will explain a little bit how I can do them and how you guys can do them, and then I can take that picture and upload it, and you guys will know from whom it will be. If you guys would like to give us stars in exchange or donate, that's fine, but it isn't required. It's a free service, something that I am doing. If you're drawn to the codes, you will like to know how to understand them in a very simple way. We can do that today. So this is how I think we can do that. I will explain a little bit what codes are from my understanding, how you can understand them as you guys request them. I'm going to need a few minutes to do the code, and then a little bit of live language so you guys saw that and integrated. The codes that we're going to do today can be collective and personalized at the same time, because it's alive. So if someone needs a code for the solar plexus, then everyone that matches that same intention could use them if you want to, right? Remember that a code, it's like a blank check that we put the amount that we need, and as long as it's a live code, it will do just what we need, just what is needed, and it will be always for the highest good. But the difference is we all have what we need. It is not just one message, because it's like Mexican food. I live in Mexico. My Mexican food, it isn't the Mexican food that is from US, or the one that I ate when I was in Venezuela or in Canada, right? It was completely different. Or the one that you guys could eat in a restaurant in Europe, because you don't have the ingredients, because it will come into what you could do. And the same thing happened with Japanese food and Chinese food and Italian food. I remember that I had Italian friends when I was living in Venezuela, and come, we have lasagna. And I remember that my Italian friend said, that it isn't Italian food. That's nasty. I'm not gonna eat that. And I was just like, it's good, right? But it wasn't the way, I guess, his Nona did it, right? It wasn't traditional one, because it was from a restaurant. So this is kind of how codes come. They come into what is needed, into the space we have, so it can be filled with light, and we can receive it. And we're gonna use something that's very affordable that everyone could have, that's white or black peaches, and then markers, if they still work, like the ones I did in my bag. So how this could work: whoever requests to have the one, and then I will draw that quickly, and then please set an intention and why do you think you need that code, and then I will explain what I understand from the code that is coming through, so we all can learn how to understand them and the reason why, and then how to integrate them. And any other question about codes or live language, or maybe you have a personal question like, how can I connect with you in Flame? And then maybe the code can be for that reason, so you guys do it. And after the code, I will do like a few seconds of live language so you integrate that code, whoever requested. And I think it's gonna be fun. Please let me know if the sound is good, and then whenever I can see that whoever requested the first code, I will begin with that, and I'm excited. I'm really excited. And give me a second. Let me see if I can see in my phone already the normally for codes I prepare myself. I'm having already comments. Yes, okay, thank you, that sounds good. If you guys would like me to do more videos like that, maybe from another team, please like and share and support and add a comment, so I know what time, what day will work out. And whoever would like to request the first code, we can begin. It's a simple way to do it. What it is a code? Maybe that it is how I should begin. A code is the pattern that the energy forms vibration and the frequency. The way that I understand it when I see energy is the vibration, it's energy going up. It's kind of like the first dimension. And then the frequency, it's the expansion that first intention rise. Maybe that it is love, right? So the way both collide together, it will have a pattern of movement. And that movement, it is like the ones you have right now. We feel that. Sometimes people see that. Some people smell, taste energy, which can be disgusting sometimes. Sometimes we'll know what it is, but then we don't feel it or see it. The majority of us, we sense it, right? So whoever would like to request the first one, then I could do it, and maybe I won't have a lot of time to edit it, but I will upload it in the comments so you guys can download it, and then the light language that I will do will integrate it. Perhaps what I could do first is in light language activation, calling upon all of your higher self to become one and speak through my higher self, and Gretel to have her personality aside. So whoever is drawn to do this video can receive the highest and best, whether that it is at this moment or later. And I would like to ask that only the highest and the highest can come through, and we can only receive what it is needed in the now, and the perfect synchronicity of the frequency that matches the vibration of love in divine order and for the highest outcome for all. That's my intention. So whoever would like to request, and I would like to show you guys let me see, this is some codes that I done couple years ago. Like, this is a heart key, I put it, and I did it with a marker. For me, this looked like a lock. So when I did this, I did it for myself, and my heart was kind of close because of romantic relationships. And I did it so I would like open myself, and this was kind of like the entrance for the key. And then I put it in me, I meditate with it, and then as soon as I saw it, it felt like it pulled something. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but I'm not seeing yet that anyone has been requesting a code yet. But like, for example, let me see, I'm gonna give you guys another example of how you guys can read a code as soon as I can see if anyone would like to request that a code. I'm not seeing your comments yet. I'm seeing those likes. I love those. I can do you guys a code if you wanted. Like for example, for this one, I did it also for me. These represent me, and I wanted my lower 5 chakras to be in the flow from the throat, the heart, the plexus, the sacral, and the root. And these represent me anchoring a perfect flow. And this was my third eye and my crown, and this is kind of like my body. Does that make sense? How you can read codes are kind of the way I see them, representations of something. When you meditate, some of you may already have that. I had that when my third eye opened. I was seeing codes, but I wouldn't understand, and it was like a second of 2, and I was just like, hold on, I'm not memorizing that yet, don't take it away. and then I was trying to do it, and at that time I didn't know it was light language. Someone said to me, that's light language, and I was just like, oh, what is that? I was already speaking it, but I didn't know what it was. And like, for example, for me, this is my favorite because this is my higher self and I. And this is my human self, my soul, and my spirit. It's like doing a logo that it don't have to be complicated. It could be simple. If you do a code like this, you can use any app from your phone to edit it and add a flare of light or whatever filter that your phone will have from like a picture, and then it will look more stylish. But in reality, you don't need to. I have my house decorated with those, and I love them. These ones I did them with my fingers and paint, and it was actually very fun. And for these represent twin flame, because if you notice, it's like the same, and then they kind of have the same flow. But if you notice, one has 5 dots and the other had 4. So this means that this code, it isn't in harmony yet. I want to show you that, because why it isn't in harmony, I'll just begin, but they should be in the same size, and it isn't. And a code should have, according to me, symmetry, organization. It needs to be clean, and all sides should be equal, like this one. So it is a light code. Otherwise, it's kind of like a stop sign that I know what it is, but it's lacking of harmony. Like with this one, now I figure out that twin flame and I were in harmony at that time, because it's missing a dot. That makes sense? How do you know what does that mean? You know it because you vibe it. Like for example, let me see if I can see if you guys have requested anything yet. Facebook changed its own algorithm, and I'm learning how to figure it out. If anyone do a code, we can do that right now. If no, we can do. Okay, I see a request now. Thank you. Italar, she wants to activate clear audience, please and thank you. Okay, thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Any comments, any questions about codes? In a code that you see, everything is a message. The colors, the patterns, the way it's organized, the way it is being shown, and like for me, a basic tool would be paper, a ruler, a ruler that it was for my daughter. Don't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be in an iPad or anything. I use an iPad, and I'm doing this because at least I have one message a day that someone is asking me, what program do you use to do your codes? So I use Photoshop, I'm still learning, and I use Procreate. I had to, but I began doing them like that. And then I was using an app to give them, I don't know, to edit them. I was using an app, any app to edit photographs. This is how I started. But when I was selling them for persons that needed them for specific reasons, like my book, or like to put it on my website, or for a conference or anything, I needed to have a different quality, and I had to go and then go into the digital part, if that makes sense. I don't know if you guys have any questions. Normally I will put music, and I will do light language when I do them. It kind of puts me in the mood. My scent, it's very amplified, and I will try to put something that will put me in the mood. Also, this is something that I do, but normally music will do. I hope that makes sense. Now I will do then a pause and edit them and share them so everyone can benefit. So this will be for our audience, and this is how it came through. Look, this is one ear and this is the other ear, and in this part is just they are connected, and I think those triangles mean us above, us below. Does that make sense? And the light language that I will use to see that those things enter right here, and then this one I will see it right here in the middle. But well, this one it will be in the right, the other in the left. I have dyslexia, and left and right don't make sense to me. This is how I will do it, and then I will do a light language again. So whoever would like to activate its own clairaudience, you guys can visualize it on the left, on the right, and then this in the middle of your, kind of like from your jaw, from your crown, and then your throat, like all big. And I have Pleiadians, by the way. Lava kia tesa korova kia sati ikira kosovare kiara koro pate e kiara aka ashka. Titi sakava te e kiara gosovara kiara ti ishti koro sova te iki ashka. And I think it's complete. Light language is very powerful because our mind, it's taken out from the equation of whatever practice we're doing. So we don't need to understand it. We just need to tune into and then feel it. Hello, thank you for being here. Does anyone would like to request another code? And I'm gonna share that code. Give me a second, I'm using my phone. Normally, that's why I put music, because I will be singing, and then if inspiration cannot come, I will kind of like stop what I'm doing and then sing again. And then sometimes when I am distracted, it's when inspiration comes again. Some drawings will take more time than others, and it's because I'm healing something, or I'm not being able to pick up whatever guys wanted to express. Give me a second, let me just upload this in the comments and add what it is for, so everyone could use it. Sometimes I have dreams with guys that they said, you have to change a drawing, this is the one I want to look. And sometimes I dream with them even before someone requests a drawing. That happened with a beautiful lion that I dreamed. It was the twin flame for a friend of mine, and he was showing me that he wanted to look like a Roman emperor or something. And I was like, okay, who is that for? And then he was like, you will know whenever it's requested, because that person didn't know yet. And hold on. I can write, because my third eye, it's open. Okay, I'm gonna put it in whatever way I can. If you guys open my third eye, I cannot do this. Your third eye open, so you know that the information comes through, but if it's too open, then there is no way to... Okay, I think I'm gonna put it in a post later, because Facebook for some reason isn't giving me the option to add that into the comments, but I will do a post later or tomorrow and edit them. Does anyone else would like to have a code, or let me see if I can, or I just use some collective one for today? Okay, Isla is asking, is the same code used to have upgrades every time you see it? Yes. And every time you see it, you have a complement of what you need in that moment. There are codes that are only for one time. There are others that are for one time and collective. And there are others that are like a blank check that you can put any amount that you want. It depends. There are codes that are not shareable, that are just for you. But that will depend on... Thank you so much, Eileen, for the stars. That will depend on what you are requesting. Sometimes I want to know where I am, and I will just begin to draw, and then the energy will let me know where I am and what is needed. But I will recommend that you guys put an intention first. So Nicole Hendricks, thank you for being here, is asking, codes to see and feel energy, or codes open or gives? Sibyl, both. Both, because the code is the pattern that the energy follow to re-educate what you already have into a higher dimension where your vibration and your frequency collide or have the perfect harmony of love. Light codes are from 5th dimension and above. And everything in a code will be a message. Everything in an, I don't remember his name. And when I am kind of channeling, my memory is kind of like off because I put Gretel aside, remember? But there are some code artists that is a male, and he don't do the codes like the way I do. He do them with fractals and images. That is a code too, because maybe it's showing you the way a portal will open when you're going through the astral. Maybe it's showing you in an image the way that Pleiades will look like for that person. For me, when I'm doing a code, the code tell me what the code wants. Sometimes a person asks for something in a drawing, but that something is coming true. And then sometimes I change it and change it and change it and change it. When I change it so many times, it is because I am continuously re-educating something. And this normally happens with twin flame drawings. Sometimes I do the twin flame, and that happened to me once. He looked like he was like leaving her, and she was like that, and I was like, oh, that's no good, I'm gonna do another one. Right? But in all drawings I did, in all of them, he was like against her, and she was holding him. So then I thought, well, maybe that's not the one. Let's try to come out with a different aspect. And then when I came out, it was a different color of skin and stuff like that, not the present one, but they were looking next to each other. So for me, if I'm doing a twin flame drawing, they have to feel connected. They have to express something. It's something that I'm still working on it, because in digital, it isn't. I'm not that skilled because I haven't studied anything. Sometimes I watch a little bit of tutorial on YouTube and then I go with the flow. But the image will let me know something. And that something comes through to everything that they express. And when something is ready to heal, the drawing will come up with an urgency that sometimes I have to stop anything and just start drawing. Kind of like the energy insists. And sometimes I will do a drawing in 6 hours, or say 8 hours or 9. And sometimes it will take me a month. It depends on the intention that you guys set, but most importantly, what spirit wants to express. And then at the same time, we'll have our own unique reflection. Somebody could see a Pleiadian, somebody could see a, I don't know, Laran one, or maybe a bad person. Whatever we see, it's where we are, and it's what we are being triggered, or what we are healing, or what we are being uplifted, or remembrance, or anything. That's the magic of it. Like, you don't need to know, but you sense it, and then you vibe it, and then if that's meant to be for you, then you're gonna say, I saw that once in a meditation, it was like that, but in my dream it has whatever. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Let me see if you guys can request another code. For the ones that are just arriving, this is live coding. I'm doing codes for you. Any intention? I wanted to heal my solar plexus, and then I'll do a code and then a little bit of life language. And I'm kind of telling you guys how you can understand them and how you can do them. You guys can do them with paper and markers like the one I do. First time I wanted to do codes because I needed to tell people what was happening to me. And at the same time, I needed to understand. When I started seeing entities, all kinds, I didn't know what they wanted with me. Some of them looked magical, some of them looked scary, but I was scared. The first time I saw a being from Sirius, I was just like I didn't even know I was a starseed back then. it was a blue being with a big scope, like Blu-ray, kind of like turquoise color, and then it glows. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. But I was just waking up in the kind of between state, and then it was like an holographic thing, kind of like, do you guys remember in Star Wars when the first one, if you guys saw it, that Leia sent a message kind of through a thing? It was kind of like that, and then I could go through, and it was kind of like an illusion, and it lasted like 3 seconds, and then it was gone. But I remember that I wanted to see if it was physical, and then I kind of went through kind of like a ghost, and I was just like, oh, that's cool. And then he had codes all over, and then the codes glow and then fade away, and then others came kind of like tattoos, and I was just like, what is that? And then I used paper to put them, and then I gathered like 10 of them, and then I asked a friend of mine, and then she said, I think it's light language. And I was just like, what are you talking about? People said I'm crazy. I'm insane. I have lower frequency. I have entities. Of course, no one says it was the language of the light. I remember that I saw tongues in church, but I thought they were crazy. They were faking it. And then she said, let me ask someone that is a specialist. And then I wait for the answer. And then I remember that, if you want, I can show you. I completely remember the codes, those first codes that I was given. They were like amazing. Maybe I am in need of a code. Rochelle, well, maybe in need of a code. Well, if you wanted to, I can do that code for you. Hello, little Nate. Thank you. Thank you for being here, Lini. Sharon, thank you for being here. Let me see if I have any specific. What series? I believe it is my second home. Well, if you believe it, if you feel it, then it is. James, thank you for being here. Well, let's do that code. I remember that it was like binary lines and dots, and it would, but it was organized in different forms. And I was like, what is that? And then I didn't knew what it was. And then the person said that my friend asked someone that it was an expert in light language, and then he said that it was communication between spacecraft, that they were kind of given directions, like the places to travel and go. And I was just like, oh, this sounds so cool, but I have no idea who are they, why they're coming through, and whatever. And then she said, I think you work for the Galactic Federation of Light. And I was just like, what is that? What is that, ma'am? Is that safe? Because I have aliens all the time, but I have no idea who are them. So when I was drawing them, I was able to understand whatever was happening. This was kind of what I saw, like, from Sirius. It was just like binary codes and lines, and I was just like, and then it expanded. It expanded in different directions. And then it has like circles, and I don't think I write them the way I see them, but I don't think it matters, because my soul at some point knows. So if Gretel don't have the language or has developed the capacity yet to see, like, it ain't matter, but it felt good, then it was like language, and then it was for the highest good. And then I remember that code expanded into something like that, and I was like, oh, what is that? And then I remember that it has like a big symbology, and kind of like the one I'm doing right now, kind of like this. You guys can see that. And Then it was explained to me that it was a location. So whenever I travel, we could meet and they could assist me. And I was just like, oh, that makes sense. So the numbers are, of course, I don't think they use numbers, but I think they use them so we kind of relate. There were locations or something that when you are doing healing Reiki or Theta healing, whatever healing you do, numbers could be the blocks you have, the lives that are being rectified or whatever. So you will understand them with what you feel, but then with what you ask for and then receive and then tune in. So I advise that you guys do a lot of questions. And if you would like to connect with your Sirius family, whoever is watching this, I'm gonna try to do a post later or the latest Sunday sharing about these codes. Any other code that you guys want, I'm gonna put it and then I'm gonna do Sirius light language. And these guys look like the ones from Avatar, the movie, but balds, no hair at all, and bigger eyes and like bigger craniums, like these Sumerian ones. Yes. And this is which Sirius is? Sirius B. They look like blue turquoise. They're tall, they're skinny, like just like the Avatar ones, but no hair and big cranium. And this is a location. An location for what? I move a little bit. To meet your Sirius star family, and they are from 5th dimension. Yes, and then from there, any intention that you have could be added to your travel. If you want to go and heal, if you want to remember. So they are experts in language of the light, second geometry, laws of the universe, and what else? Magnetism, and other things we haven't developed yet. Okay, I'm gonna let them speak. So the way it is, you just see it and then you can imagine that you breathe that in into whatever part you want to, or you can imagine that you become the code. You don't have to remember exactly how it looks. The first time you saw it, if you were ready to receive it, then it's done. But with a light language and a few minutes gazing at it with eyes open or eyes closed, whatever works out for you, our ego don't interfere. I hope that makes sense. Greetings. Viki akata kese kubaki teki da kubaki ki esake teki kubaki teki kiava. Teki sekoda baki teki esekoteki ashtakapa ati iki teki takabaki teki ashta. Bubaki teki dekata kubaki teki kuba apati iki ava ate aki ashta ateki ki ashna iki ashka. Kitikia kubaki teki kutokorokoba ti iki ashta ki iki ashna. Thank you. Oh, that was good. Feel good. I feel like love. I don't know if you guys feel that. But let me see if anyone else has requested anything. If we haven't, maybe we can do star systems. And maybe that could work. And at the end, I will do a little bit of different light language. It looks like a barcode, yes. Sequence, yes. That's right, it's a sequence. This is what light language will do, because I have to see. That's a great comment. Oh my god, just help me to express it. When I'm doing like language, I actually kind of see like, do you guys remember in the Matrix that like binary code like follow over? But sometimes isn't just ones and zeros. Sometimes it's swirls and flashes. And then it permeates every part of our biology, and then sometimes we look like we divide ourselves in slides. Kind of like that. And then the most amazing surgeons I have been is the Arcturian ones. Maybe I will do like language Arcturian. They have like light that comes to their fingers, and it looks like if they are sewing, if that's a correct pronunciation, like lines of light in different way, and then pulling all the ones like it vacuums, and it's all being done in tones we can't perceive yet, like maybe a dog or an animal that they have more enhance their sound, but that sound will push or invite whatever movement we have to redirect itself into a harmony. Like if you sing without pitch and then you sing next to someone really knows how to sing, and then you kind of align with a better pitch. This is kind of why sound is so amazing, or movement, because the movement that someone is doing when you are doing a Reiki, it's the movement of the sound. It's sound that we can perceive, but when we hear a singing bowl or anything, our ego kinda make it real. And that symbol, or like this one, it's how the energy rearrange itself so we could have a better harmony and reach a higher vibration and frequency, and then match our guides, spirit, higher self, whoever it is in the highest and best to come through. I hope that makes sense. And it always does whatever you need. And light language can be perceived in different forms. Sometimes some people said, that sounded Native American, that sounded Mongolian, that sounded like Hebrew, for example. And it doesn't matter, because it's like Mexican food in every country. It won't be my Mexican, not even in Mexico, you guys. Mexican food from Mexico City, for me, it's like, no. Because I live in Sonora, that's close to San Diego or Arizona. So tacos here are with real cows, right? And meat. But in the center of Mexico, they eat all the parts of the animals and other animals that in my state we don't used to eat. Those maybe could be used in sausages, but not on tacos, right? And like, for example, quesadillas don't have cheese. Have like parts of your brain, brain from the cow, things like that. In another states, they eat tacos of tongue, that for me is disgusting, or ears of pork that I said like, ew, no, right? So you will cook with what you have, isn't it? And this is how like language is. This is a metaphor that came through me. Like my Italian, maybe for an Italian, it will be like, ew, no, Gretel, that's not Italian food, because I haven't been in Italy. Maybe I don't have the spices and the training with a Italian mother will have. And their cuisine is exquisite to me. I love it. But I do with whatever I have on hand that it's in my city available to me. So if I show you guys this code, what do you think that it is? Just by gazing at it, just use your intuition. There is no way that you guys can go wrong with this. And then I'm gonna do a little bit of light language, and maybe it could be fun to test how your intuition it is. Just try to figure out what would that be, what would that mean. I can tell you that it's Arcturian, I can tell you that, and I can do a little bit of light language, and then at the end, if you guys want to, I can guess what does this mean, and then from the ones who guess, I can do a free code if you send me when I said who win. And then in a few days I can do a code free. Let's do that for fun. So set your intention for whatever you would like to receive, because we open a portal. Ask your higher self to be in charge, so you don't have to worry about protection or anything. If higher self is in charge, then you know it's safe. If I'm doing Arcturian light language, the Arcturian that will come to you is your Arcturian. If you are here, it's because you have an Arcturian soul extension. If this is light language and you are open to receive it and you want to stay it and you tune into your senses and within, you will receive what it is in the highest and best. If someone don't trust it, then they won't receive anything. This is kind of how it works. You have to believe it so it feels true, because otherwise it is inactivated. Like, for example, imagine that I get taxes back and then I have $1,000 and I don't know, because I'm not at home and no one gave me that notification, so I'm not gonna use them, right? My mom discovered that she had 70,000 pesos, that it would be like $4,000 American ones, that were in an insurance from her husband, that she couldn't get that money, but because the law changed, now she received a notification that come from your money, and he passed 16 years ago, right? And we're like, oh, that's awesome. But she didn't knew she could use and have that money in all of those 16 years until now, because she's working on some law of attraction thing. So I think she kind of manifested. It's kind of like a miracle thing, but if we don't know, we don't use it. That's logic and common sense. So let's just tune within and just visualize, because the code will morph in you in whatever form you need it. It may not be the same. It may have a different color. It may have different colors. Okay, so trust that it is the intention that my higher self is in charge, of this is safe and for the highest good of all, and my Arcturian self can come to me and I will completely know what the message is and what I receive, because I'm ready for it. And let's begin now. Sakete iki asa te esha koroba te iki ara koroba iki ashka. U va ise ti iki ara korobara akiete ase koroko ubakarati asara kara koriati va iki eshniki sava kuyeka. Boa va iki akotorokoro usu uki iti ishtiki asako ti iki ashka ti esakoda va iki araki ashka. Not Pleiadians wants to speak. Lava iki asa haku vuti ita asa abu iki na. Niana lalaba iki ita sakuva iki ashna ise iki ashka. Kurete iki esa kote iki ava uva ate asa ke ashe kuzuva iki iti ikoro uva asa uva ku iti ishna.
uvala eki ana asa eki ashka ti isa va eki ini ashna. Okay, I think I can do one more. Okay, I have elementals. I vai di asa iti ishtaki akova ikiate. Iava ete ikia kia sakoreva ite esa de erikiara ashna. Iva iava ikiate kiara asara koroware tiriki ashka. Iene ava ikia kaova kuria tera sara kuletile vali. Iniate kia sava kiti estia kava akasoro koia kia navasa ikieti eshna. Iti isakti aki ata asa koroware kia tiki ashtiki asa kuri ate aki aki ashna. Ekete papa pate eseti iki ashna osoba iki aki ata ashna. And I think that's enough for today. To me, I kind of had my own dialogue. Let me see if what you guys share, and then I will let you know what I feel. Let me see if I can go back and refresh it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the same way I did. And Banana says, I see joy, play, fun, enjoy the journey. That's beautiful. And then, hello, Lucas, thank you for being here. We love a message from Vegas, our family. I had them, but I didn't give them the chance to speak. Charm, thank you for being here. Let me see. We'll definitely connect. Any message that comes through? Well, yes, James. I guess it was collective, and this was like a chakra alignment. I don't know if that makes sense for you, but it was like a higher chakra dispensation. I don't know what exactly that means in English, but it feels like a chakra upgrades. These are like the chakras, and kind of in the direction that they move. This will be like a head of a person, if that makes sense. And then what Pleiadians were saying, it was that, what were they saying? This is a great opportunity for being here now that the deconstruct of the illusion it's being, I don't know how to say that, recalibrated and built again into our journey into a new earth and in a more harmonious collective. We could see a bright side, the bright side where we have our power that comes from love and peacefulness in a very fierce way, because the spirit right now collectively is kind of like fighting, combative, speaking my truth, what I want, I don't want it to control me, kind of like that. But when we use that fiery energy through the step of someone who is centered into love, we can useful redirect that fire into whatever intention we have to create and co-create with our collective. And this is why I think they're saying, instead of being at times that could be challenging and uncertain and unexpected because of the things that are going to about to be revealed and happen. Okay. Yes, okay. For us, that's an opportunity to build new things, new ways to have a different reality that begins within. Okay, yes. And elementals came because they say we were ungrounded. In general, I think the ones that were here, maybe the ones that will listen to the video, if we're not grounded, it's like having, I don't know, headphones so I don't talk what's going on and I'm distracted, so maybe I will go and crash into a wall because I'm not paying attention to what is around me. When we ground, whatever activation, download, or experience we have, it got crashed right here. And then instead of being for the highest and best, that is always for the highest and best, it came through a thing like discomfort, kind of an essential symptom, because we weren't able to flow that information, that it isn't only for us as a single person, but it's for the whole collective, the whole animal kingdom and plant kingdom and all the elementals. They receive all of the channelings and activations we do in human form, but at the same time they have their own guidance and messages that they receive because they are ascending too. So when we ground, we share our point of view and they give us what is happening in their own realm, and then we know where we are, what's going on, and where we are headed. Does that make sense? Because in general, what now they are all saying it is that we have a cyclic process of evolution in our soul in this reality. Yes, that isn't only aligned to time as an anchor and collective agreements, but at the same time repeating cyclic patterns until we found the way to choose something different. Yes. So when we're able to identify the pattern that doesn't feel good, that make life complicated and hard to go, that feel like we're just crashing into a closed door, we're able to mutate that, transform it into what feels good, right, simple and easy. That is the philosophy of New Earth. Whatever is like, follow the bliss. Wherever you feel drawn to, that feels good, that you feel like it's all well, then that's it. That's where you should be. And if it isn't, redirect, adjust. Yes, yes. It feels like the next 6 months are going to be busy, like tight in things collectively happening. I don't know exactly what, because I think we're choosing those things. I don't know, revelations, changes. So the more centered we are, the more grounded, the more anchored in love and peace, the better things will unfold. And it isn't something that will go away. It's more like kind of the new norm. And it isn't a, okay, I'm gonna rephrase that. That new norm, even though it can be uncertain or unstable or make us fear in some areas because it's not settled yet, it's because we're making our choices and preparing for a huge awakening that is going to unfold the next year. And those mastering whatever we're going through, that it could be self-healing, disease, things happening in your family or in your profession or in your economy or anything, is what it's bringing up the master for supporting whoever it's expecting to be awake next year. So everything, it feels like if we just like roll the dice and kind of like everything, the dices are like, and then we're like, okay, what's gonna be, right? What's gonna be? But no matter how they come down for me or for you or for Tina or for Lily or for Binetta, we are in an ascension that it is not ending this time in apocalypses, even though sometimes it may feel for us because we're not full grounded in love and peace. So at the end is all what they want to say, that anchor that feels like treasure, like another its own baby, like your key, your life-saving tool or whatever. And then the capacity of adjustment, it's going to be a good tool to know where, when not, and what to do in case unexpected things just like go out of the blue. I hope that makes sense. I hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to post this code with the meaning whenever I can. If you guys like me to do more decoding, then like and share, let me know, or just go with the normal questions, then we can go in with that. I'm doing this because the last 2 weeks I had so many messages about I want to do codes, how I do them. And I normally said I use Procreate and I use Photoshop to add like a background, right? But you guys don't have to go expensive. You guys could use paper and then filter it, and then I'll show you the way they could look if you are creative. But the most important thing in a code is a code represent a flow, a movement of energy that is the alchemy between a frequency that is the expansion and a vibration that is the impulse from an intention that will re-educate what we already have, lifting us into a higher frequency. How do I use it? Just see it and it's done. But you can gaze at them, and the more you see them, the more you receive. The code can change and mean different things, because the code is going to be alive, like a plant, like wine, like a crystal. It will go more precious within time. A code, in my guidance, it needs to be clean, organized, has to be symmetry, has to be even, otherwise it isn't a light code. It's just a code. Like a stop sign, it's a code. Minus symbol is a code. A plus symbol is a code, but it isn't a light code. No, it isn't. But an infinite symbol it is, because it represents a circle that twists and change and transform itself, but at the same time it never ends, like a circle. So it's kind of like an upgrade with a circle that shows that a circle can have different forms, and maybe that infinite symbol can grow another one, twist again, and then become and be like a helix and like a DNA form, and then maybe it can go and do another swirl. When we keep growing and evolving and we keep expanding, we keep adding new ways that we could be. When we get stuck into the same thing, then we stop our growing, not necessarily, but it just go very slow. And this is an accelerated path, especially if in your life there are a lot of things going on. How do I understand the code? Simple, you feel it. If you vibe it, then it's good for you. If it doesn't feel good, then don't. Ground, clear yourself, whatever you want to do. A code will never damage you unless you have an agreement that you wanted that information to damage you, because maybe it's triggering something that's ready to be healed. If it's a light code, it will never feel bad, because they are made of love. It's like source, and love is what creates, and love cannot hurt you unless become obsession. or lacking of love, right? So when love gets distorted, then maybe it doesn't feel good. But as long as it has the harmony that love is the most beautiful thing that sometimes cannot be described, then it will be good, and it will do whatever we need as long as we need it. It may last a minute, an afternoon, a week, but it doesn't matter. That's why meditating felt so good. I remember when I started meditating, I was doing like 3-4 times a day, and I would sleep with a playlist, and because I needed to do. And then at some point I need to stop and said no, because I'm chanting all the time. I don't need to meditate. I need to do a date to meet spirit because I feel it all day. So now what I do is I catch up to my human self. So I'm not channeling all the time, or I'm not close that information cannot come through. And I'm checking up by being present. I can be thinking something and driving and then said, okay, higher self, I think this is what's going on, but I'm not sure. So can you confirm it? And then a 222 license plate will pass by in a second. And I'm like, okay, so I am in the right path. So I keep my connection always active because higher self and I are very good friends, like since 5 years ago, and it was when my life shifted. Through higher self, everything comes to me. Pleiadians, Saturns, everything, because he is my CEO, my boss, and we are in connection the majority of the time, unless I get upset for something and then I said, fuck up. No, sometimes I get disconnected like everyone else, and then when I get disconnected, normally sleep, going out, I don't know, doing something, meditation, I will go back to normal, maybe in a few hours, maybe in a day, depends. It depends of what you're going through, and that's fine. This connection let us know whatever we're missing, so we go back. And the same happened with confusion, being drained, being anxious, etc., etc. So codes are a simple and easy way to do, because they bypass the mind, and sometimes we don't know what's going on. So maybe you can say, okay, I want a code that showed to me what's going on. I have no idea. And you will draw something and then said, okay, I still don't understand it higher self, so I'm going to put a crystal, I'm going to do Reiki, whatever you have on hand. So whenever you and I are matching in spirit, Archangel Michael, whoever you pray with, speak, you will know. It will come to you from a friend, from a song, from a movie, or anything, or a session, or a meditation, and then it will say, oh, I think it is the reason why. Sometimes it isn't in the same time. Sometimes a year after you said, oh, now I understand. But at the level of spirit, those things don't matter. Those things matter because of our ego needs that proof. But spirit guides won't need that validation. We need that. So we believe it's real. And the more you believe, the better it gets, because the more proof you have that we are supported, that all is well, and that everything is according to the plan that we choose not to remember because it's part of the flow here. So we can be eager to discover how much beautiful excitement things can arise the next morning or the next minute. And with that, I'm going to wish you guys a beautiful weekend afternoon. For the ones that are with me in the class, the one I have in Spanish and in English, this week I am going not to be available for anything. I'm going to a retreat to myself. I'm kind of needed because in the class we're all going through a huge process and understand it. And I have been invited into a conference in Spanish from a platform from Spain in Spanish that is a congress that is going to be for 3 days, and it's about the project of your soul. And I'm going to use some of that information to our course. That first of all, I wanted to ground first what is the project of our soul, what is my project, what could be your project, how could we apply it. And I'm gonna take some time off to do that. Anything, you guys, it's better if you contact me to the page encodedfrequency.com and fill contact form. I receive so many messages in the page or emails that I just bypass them. Sometimes I can have 100 emails, 55, for different reasons, and then I could bypass an important email, forgive me. And in Facebook and in the page, I don't know, I could have 200, 300 that could last me 2 or 3 hours if I read them all. So I apologize if I haven't replied to you. It's not humanly possible to reply to all of the questions. Sometimes I have help to check on the messages. If it's any important and you guys would like to contact me, then encodedfrequency.com. And then see you guys in a week ahead. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of the weekend. I hope you find this video valuable, and thank you for your presence here. For me, it was fun. Bye-bye.